Is it weird that March of 2021 is starting when March of 2020 is still going on in all of our minds? I know I'm not the first person to make that joke, but I won't be the last either, so I figured I'd just throw my 2 cents in and see how my delivery was compared to everyone else that's probably already tweeted it or made it on a late night show. Anyway, I'm Nick Hedrick, and while some things might feel the same, what is ever changing is the college basketball landscape, which brings us to the first ever edition of the Stranded Sports College Basketball Weekend Review, in which I am your host, Nick Hedrick. So let's take a look at what happened over the weekend in men's college hoops. Number 1, Gonzaga capped off its first ever undefeated regular season in style after knocking off Loyola Marymount 86-69 on Saturday night. Corey Kispert led the nation's top team with 24 points and helped the Bulldogs shoot 58% from the floor. Number 2, Baylor, however, was not blessed with similar fortunes, losing its first game of the season by a final score of 71-58 to the 17th ranked Kansas Jayhawks. This was the Bears' second game since February 2nd, and the Jayhawks picked up their 6th win in 7 games in the process. Number 3, Michigan, number 5, Illinois, and number 6, Alabama all walked away with victories on Saturday, but not all remaining ranked teams were safe, however, as the 7th ranked Oklahoma Sooners were topped by the Oklahoma State Cowboys in overtime on Saturday, falling 94-90. Number 11, Florida State was outscored by 20 points in the second half against North Carolina, leading to a 78-70 loss for the Seminoles. The win marked Tar Heels head coach Roy Williams' 900th career victory. Xavier continued to keep its bubble from popping after defeating 13th ranked Creighton 77-69. The Musketeers shot 54% and were paced by Paul Scruggs' 23-point effort. Texas Tech won the Battle of Texas. I don't know if that's what people call it there, but that's what I'm going to call it, so oh well, by defeating the 14th ranked Longhorns 68-59. Out west, Utah took down the Trojans of USC 71-61. And finally, the 25th ranked Tennessee Volunteers were knocked off by Auburn. Arkansas, San Diego State, West Virginia, and Loyola Chicago all walked away with wins on Saturday as well, but Sunday brought equal turmoil to the college basketball landscape with number 9 Iowa handling the number 4 ranked Buckeyes of Ohio State 73-57. Butler also joined in the weekend of upsets, causing further disruption in the Big East by beating number 8 Villanova 73-61. Number 12 Houston grabbed the Bulls, the USF Bulls in this case, by the horns en route to a 98-52 victory. Now that you're all caught up within the happenings of the top 25, here is Ethan Morrison with your updates in the ongoing conference tournaments and what we can look ahead for next week.
The Hercules Tires American East tournament tipped off Saturday afternoon with pod play at the University of New Hampshire and the University of Hartford, and they were some good ones as UMass Lowell defeated number 7 seed Stony Brook 64-62 Saturday afternoon. Number 4 Hartford defeated number 9 Binghamton 77-60. Then number 5 University of Albany defeated number 8 NJIT as they moved on with a 75-66 win. UMass Lowell then squared off against the University of New Hampshire, and it was an upset as the number 6 seed defeated the number 3 seed 72-64. The University of Hartford was able to defeat the Great Danes of Albany 65-77 to move on to the semifinals. With that in mind, the semifinal round is now set as number 1 UMBC will take on number 6 seed UMass Lowell next week at 2 o'clock. Number 2 seed Vermont will take on number 3 seed Hartford at 4 o'clock. Both of those games will be seen on ESPN+. And yes, another Hercules Tire tournament kicked off Saturday afternoon, and it was the Big South turn as 2 play-in games kicked off the Big South Hercules Tires tournament as number 7 Hampton defeated number 10, the number 10 seed Presbyterian in a close one, 67-65. Number 9 USC Upstate and number 8 High Point squared off in their first round matchup with USC Upstate winning their game 65-60. The quarterfinals of the Big South tournament begin Monday night with Radford taking on Hampton. That's the 2-7 matchup at 6 o'clock. Then the number 1 seed Winthrop, the Eagles. I know Nick likes the Eagles. They take on number 8 High Point at 6 o'clock. Both of these games will be streamed on ESPN3. Then Gardner-Webb squares off with Campbell, the Fighting Camels, yes. And Longwood and UNC Asheville will face off. Both of those games will be at 7 o'clock, and both will be streaming on ESPN+. The Progressive Horizon League Championship resumes Tuesday night with the quarterfinal matchups Those games will start at 7 o'clock. Number 1 Cleveland State will take on the 10 seed Purdue Fort Wayne. Northern Kentucky will host Detroit Mercy, and Wright State will take on Milwaukee at 7 o'clock. Then finally, the University of Oakland, they're the 3 seed. They will take on the 6 seed Youngstown State at 7:30 p.m. All those games will be streamed on ESPN+. For all the latest and upcoming conference tournaments, be sure to follow Stranded_Sports on Twitter. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at some of the top games this week. Some crucial A10 matchups begin the work week as St. Bonaventure will take on Dayton at 5 o'clock on ESPNU. Then, right an hour later, St. Louis will take on the Richmond Spiders at 6 o'clock on ESPN+. Also Monday, Oklahoma State has another rematch with Oklahoma. That game will tip off at 9 o'clock on ESPN. That should be a great one, a great Big 12 showdown after Oklahoma State defeated Oklahoma Saturday afternoon. Duke tries to keep their bubble hopes alive as they take on Georgia Tech Tuesday night at 8 o'clock on the ACC network. Then let's go over to Wednesday as number 16 Virginia Tech takes on Louisville at 7 o'clock on ESPN2. Creighton and Villanova try to avenge their losses this weekend as they square off on Wednesday night as well at 8:30 on FS1. Finally, to end the work week, on Thursday night, number 7 Oklahoma will take on number 14 Texas at 9 o'clock Thursday night. That will do it for us this week on the weekend recap. We will see you right back here Monday night next week.